My bibliographic essay is about Filipino hospitality. The topic I was assigned to was values, attitudes, or ideologies. The first book is about effective discipline through Filipino values by Dr. Tomas Quintin, Donato Andres, and Pilar Corazon B. Ilada Andres. So the book basically talks about the effectiveness of Pinoy style discipline, which is based on Filipino values to organize discipline. The authors mentioned that human behavior must be treated as honorable individuals. One's behavior will depend on one's environment. What I learned from the book is basic Filipino values are based and learned from their own religions, jobs, families, and even from their environment. Dr. Tomas Quintin Donato Andres said that these factors indicate what is of value and what is of no value to Filipinos. My second source presents an analytical framework about the analysis of Filipino values. It emerged and was formed from a combination of both historic Asian and Western values. The author Robert P. Hennig said it is hoped that by expanding the potential variables to include specific context and situations, so a fuller understanding of Filipino values will be done. So not only hospitality was mentioned, but also other values such as hiya, pakikisama, amor proprio, and the like. The third source is entitled Educational Profile of the Philippines and Best Practices in Filipino Schools and Classrooms. Their paper discusses how the Filipino character is influenced by other races such as Malays, Chinese, Americans, and even the Arabs. It also mentions how we got certain traits and values from other cultures such as kinship or bayanihan and camaraderie, which we got from the Malay forefathers. Then second, close family ties which we inherited from the Chinese. Then piousness from the Spanish who introduced us to Christianity. Then lastly, hospitality, which we claimed our own trait. It's what distinguishes the Filipinos. Fourth is unveiling the quality of service, influences, and challenges of the hospitality industry in the local tourists' destination site in Cebu, Philippines. So this is basically a study and it talks about hospitality within a certain local tourist destination in our city. We often meet tourists in places like this and it is where the value is often practiced. As what was mentioned in the study, quality management equates to quality service. It is possible to tell that satisfaction with a hospitality experience is a total of all the satisfaction with the individual elements or attributes of all products, facilities, and services that make up the experience. By Mock et al., 2013. My last source is entitled Filipino Personality Traits and Values for Social Support. Filipino overseas workers as human resources for work and life balance in Japan. The people who studied this topic are Japanese and their goal for their paper was to learn more about the Filipinos' features, personality traits, and values in order to help with nursing care issues in Japan. They said that majority of Filipinos work as nurses and caregivers in other countries, making them the largest provider of social support as human resources. Literary documents and books were analyzed for them to gather concrete examples of Filipino personality traits and values. Interview surveys were also conducted, and the 10 most depicted traits were the following: pakikisama, hiya, utang na loob, close family ties, bahala na, amor proprio, bayanihan, hospitality, ningas kugon, and respect for elders. So the said traits were analyzed from a social psychological viewpoint.